Hey, y'all see what's going on? That's over there in Syria, man. This thing is getting crazy. This thing heating up out here in these streets. That's it's a civil war going on over there. Let me get that in a second, Ezra's, man. You said what was that? Yeah, let me get second Ezra's 15. About they shall not regard the course of actions here. 15 and 16.
You know what's crazy, Cap, is that was all orchestrated by these supposed militia groups that rose up.
We already know who that is. We already know who that is. Read that.
Second Ezra, chapter 15, verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men.
There shall be what?
Sedition among men.
There shall be sedition amongst men. I'm going to show y'all something. I want to get give me First Maccabees chapter 8 real quick to show the sedition, where a lot of this stuff come from. First Maccabees 8 and 13. Because a lot of things you see going on in the world, you see all this, all of a sudden, you see this well-organized and armed group, armed to the teeth, brand new, spray painted, synchronized trucks. That ain't nothing but the damn white man. Read that real quick. Let's get some of the history on that, but how Esau got down over his history. Read that.
First Maccabees chapter 8, verse 13. Also that whom they would...
Read verse 1. Read verse 1 so we understand who he's talking about here.
Yes, First Maccabees chapter 8, verse 1.
Come on.
Now Judas had heard of the fame of the Romans.
Of the who?
Of the Romans.
So we talking about the Romans. Come on.
That they were mighty and valiant men, and such as would lovingly accept all that joined themselves unto them.
Just like they do today. Come on.
And make a league of amity with all that came unto them.
Jump down to verse 13.
Verse 13. Also that whom they would help to a kingdom, those reigned. And whom again they displaced.
They would what?
They displaced. Finally, that they were greatly exalted.
So they would set up kings and take kings down, man. So now go back to that second Ezra chapter 15 and 16. This is how this man gets down. He's always behind something. You just see a random, large, organized group of rebels pop out of nowhere. Come on, man. The same play. Read that.
Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 16.
Come on.
For there shall be sedition among men.
So we see a lot of that sedition being orchestrated by the crooks in action, or what y'all might know as the CIA. Come on.
And invading one another.
And doing what?
And invading one another.
That's what happened. That's how Syria got overthrown a few months ago. The invading one another. We know the CIA was behind that. Come on.
They shall not regard their kings nor princes.
They don't regard, and they didn't regard the Assad regime. Come on.
And the course of their actions shall stand in their power.
So now these rebels have taken ownership. Now they shooting. That's a residential building that they shooting up, man. That's what's going on out here. You want to say something on that?
Damn.
Yeah, I did. Remember, all had put that out there a long time ago that they wanted to take over Syria. So, and they tracked a lot of the money that the quote-unquote rebels got to that U.S. Aid. That's where they got their money from to get funded. So that money came directly from the United States government, which is teamed up with the small hats. Everybody know who they are. And, you know, whatever territories they want, they get through force. Just like they got what's Palestine right now, how they wiping that out. And Trump is out there talking about he going to give them the whole country now. He going to take it over. So this is what they do. Scripture real quick, Micah 2. Real quick, we got to get that. Micah 2.
Yes, sir.
2, 1, and 2.
The book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds.
Because a lot of people look at that and they just think it's just a uprising just out of nowhere, not understanding that the United States is funding that thing through the U.S. aid and all that, the grants and different things. Like they funding all these different terror groups. Read.
When the morning is light, they practice it.
So they practice. As soon as they get an opportunity, they practice it. Read.
Because it is in the power of their hands.
Because the Lord has the nation of Edom in power right now, running the world. Read.
And they covet fields and take them by violence.
So they take lands by violence. Everywhere you see Esau land, the so-called white man, every property that he got in the world, he's taking it by violence. America, Australia, all of the quote-unquote Middle East, Europe, back when we ruled Europe as the Moors and as the Jews, they took all of that. Every last piece of land they have taken by violence. Read.
And houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
So it's not good enough that they just take your land. They take your heritage and everything. You look at the movies, the Egyptians is white, the Last Samurai is white. The Mexican is white. Everybody is Esau now. We don't have, nobody else has done anything. They've done everything.
They're not in any movies, the white man, the Edomite. They're not in that. So, man, let's get that next article up.
Doge's AI app replacing fired federal workers proves about as good as an intern.
So this is something that we've been talking about here in this area for quite some time, how people working in the DevOps arena, building the foundation of these AI systems, now they starting to roll them out. That's why they can lay off thousands of government employees, because a lot of those jobs, these legacy jobs that people thought they was going to have, AI can handle all that. So let's read that article.
Business owners and employees who worry that artificial intelligence will help improve their work while possibly taking countless jobs away from humans have more reason to suspect both could be true. Another example of AI's inroads in the workplace arose after Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, eliminated 1,000 jobs at one federal agency and then presented surviving employees with a new chatbot to deal with the work their departed colleagues had done. About 1,500 employees with the government's General Services Administration, GSA, which manages federal property and most procurement contracts, were given the app to assist with various repetitive chores after a series of deep layoffs. As reported by Wired, agency staff were told they could use the combination of 3 chatbots to, quote, draft emails, create talking points, summarize text, and write code.
What did you say?
Providing an AI assistance with that limited yet varied list of tasks is apparently Doge's next measure after eliminating over 1,000 GSA jobs last month, with hundreds of cuts more still on the way. But why would someone who just inherited email and text writing work from a few dozen former colleagues also need help with coding? Because those Doge layoffs included virtually every member of the GSA's 18F Tech Hub, whose work to render government sites and apps more efficient have been highly praised inside government and without. Indeed, one of 18F's last projects before its coolings was combining Anthropic's Claude Haiku 3.5, Claude Sonnet 3.5 version 2, and Metallama 3.2 into the new GSAI chatbot. Then Doge came to call and pocketed their tech while pushing them out the door. Before that happened, Wired said 18F had also worked with agencies like the Department of the Treasury and the Department of Health and Human Services to try to adapt the app to their in-house and public-facing uses. That all came to a halt last month as Doge's relentless, often reckless push to increase efficiency through mass unemployment swept over the GSA, hampering efforts by the agency's remaining staff in the process.
Man, there's some stuff that's going on. We're reading through this to show you that. Give me Hosea 5:15, and then I want you to post up this next article too about the IRS plans to lay off 7,000 workers. This thing ain't no joke. So all these jobs, these repetitive jobs and all that they were doing clerks and admins to take care of, these jobs are going by the wayside. Just like one point in time, you had a room full of typewriters. Then word processing came out, wiped out all the typewriters. Then Windows came out, wiped all that. This is just the evolution of technology, but it's for a reason. Read that real quick.
Hosea chapter 5, verse 15.
Come on.
I will go and return to my place. Till they acknowledge their offense.
Come on.
And seek my face.
Come on.
In their affliction.
In their what?
In their affliction.
They're going to do what?
They will seek me early.
You see that? So that's a lot of people are going to be afflicted. So pull up this next article.
IRS plans to lay off 7,000 workers beginning Thursday, AP source says.
Damn.
The IRS will lay off roughly 7,000 workers in Washington and around the country beginning Thursday. A person familiar with the plans told the Associated Press. The layoffs affect probationary employees with roughly 1 year or less of service at the agency and largely include workers in compliance departments.
Right, so now, you see that now. I want you to roll down. Scroll up. It should be underneath that little tab that says next. I don't know if y'all see where it says 90,000 employees. Y'all see that? The IRS has roughly 90,000. Watch this.
The IRS has roughly 90,000 employees total across the United States.
Come on.
According to the latest IRS data, racial minorities make up 56% of the IRS workforce, and women represent 65%.
So the Lord is turning things up. A lot of these sisters, a lot of them position 6-figure jobs. They 6-figure jobs. Let's get the next one that's coming. Let's roll up the next article. This thing getting serious. So a lot of brothers and sisters in the D.C. area are getting hit.
Department of Education lays off nearly 50% of its workforce.
That's a lot of people. But here's the deal. When you look at what America spends per student and where America is in a developed nation, somewhere near the bottom. So just from a business standpoint, that ain't a winning formula. So old Trumpster coming in, he just eliminating it.
I'm gonna tell you something. Being in this area and knowing the lay of the land here, a lot of these sisters, man, that make these six figures is the strong, black, independent sister. Don't need no man. I got my own this and my own that. And really, in reality, they do have a man. It just so happened to be the white man. They don't. That's who they got, because now the white man is like, look, I don't need you no more. You getting laid off, so all that tough talk.
And you a single income.
Yeah, you
no
a single
husband.
income, no husband. You ain't got no hedge in the house.
3,000 square foot house.
Yeah,
with no job.
Hey, look, man, the Lord is going to make us work together and make us come together.
Yes, sir. And Cap, like you said about those typewriter admin jobs, those call center jobs, call center was booming. Now when you call a call center, you got a robot 80% of the call. It takes a long time to get to a real person, and it's not a lot of them. And a lot of those jobs, if you do get to a real person, it's somebody in India, somebody in the Caribbean. You're not talking to no American anymore. They're replacing call center jobs with bots and prompts. Just like with the chat.
It's no different than your grocery store. Real quick, Cap, if I can get a scripture. Can you get Isaiah 32:9?
The book of Isaiah, chapter 32, verse 9.
Read that.
Rise up, ye women that are at ease.
You sisters that are at ease, you must rise up. We've been asleep here for a very long time, and America has made it very comfortable for you all to try to be in these strong black women positions with a 3,000 square foot home and no man nowhere in sight or kids. Read on.
Hear my voice.
Hear the voice of the Lord. Read.
Ye careless daughters.
You careless daughters, because now look, the white man is in office, and he's trying to trim the fat. What is the fat? You so-called black women that's in these powerful positions, these ease positions. Read.
Give ear unto my speech.
Give ear unto the speech that's coming out of these scriptures, and let's get our minds right.
Yeah, let's go back to the article. Read this real quick so you can see. Things is changing up. And I mean, the Lord got the spirit on this man. Things are changing rapidly here in Babylon. We got to wake up, family. Read that.
The Department of Education initiated mass layoffs on Tuesday night, reducing its workforce by nearly 50%.
So you've been working there for that whole time. He come in and just hack 50% off the break.
Sources told ABC News. The reduction in force notices began to go out at about 6 p.m.
So they sending out that thing at 6 o'clock. That's today, right? Is that today? Yes, rolling out today.
Some 1,315 employees were affected by the RIFs, leaving
By the RIFs,
leaving 2,183 employed by the department, according to senior officials at the DOE.
Right, RIF stands for reduction in force.
Impacted staff will be placed on administrative leave starting March 21st, a statement from the Education Department said. The statement also said that the DOE will continue to deliver on all statutory programs that fall under the agency's purview, including formula funding, student loans, Pell Grants, funding for special needs students, and competitive grant making.
So they're going to have a whole lot more money, obviously, if they're cutting 50% of the overhead. So it's a lot of things that's changing. A lot of them jobs now are going into the artificial intelligence. Anybody want to say something before we move on?
I want to get one prophecy that talks about that. That's that Jeremiah 31:22. Because even when I went to St. Lucia, what we noticed, and we were talking to the brothers about it, is that the white man purposely puts the women in all the higher paying jobs to hit that reverse, to reverse that nature, like it's in the Willie Lynch. And a lot of people don't see that. We got in our community, as far as women, we got the most highly educated. They got the most degrees. They make the most money. They make way more money than a man. And a lot of sisters don't understand that that's being done on purpose to flip everything to get these women think they're strong and independent, but it's really a trap. And now he's shutting down everything. You understand? You got the real white man back in the office now. Get that real quick.
Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 22. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man.
So a lot of times we hear that breakdown and that scripture, and we thinking that it's just talking about in the house. and that they just run in the house. No, if you look at a lot of these positions, even across the United States, the major cities, they set women up as mayors. In a lot of these systems, they put the money behind them. They back their financing. A lot of the congressmen and women, they set up in those positions, and that's done intentionally to push the black man down and exalt the black woman.
And that's why they're dancing in the White House right now to Kendrick Lamar, right? That's exactly why. We're going to show y'all that later, too.
There's powerful niggas.
Yeah, watch this, though, real quick. To back up what Officer Mendel said, so y'all don't think that we just making up stuff and we just here to bash black women. Absolutely not. We here to bash that caricature that they made of our sisters. But here it go right there. Black women are the most educated demographic in America. And a lot of this stuff is done by design because they set our sisters up and they set them up for failure. You even see that with the Fannie Willis thing. They set this sister up to persecute the black man. I mean, that, and then sick there on Trump. And now they all falling back and they leaving the sister high and dry. Now she getting subpoenaed and Letitia James. And they set our sisters up, and then when the heat come on her, they're going to fall back.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models.